Welcome friends to a journey through time. We turn our gaze not to the distant stars today, but to a point on our own planet, where the celestial and the earthly once intertwined. Welcome to our journey through the fascinating history of Tenochtitlan, the heart of the Aztec Empire. Here, on a small island in Lake Texcoco, a civilization bloomed with a vibrancy that rivaled the most powerful empires of its age. We'll explore the foundational pillars of Aztec society, and imagine alternate history scenarios that could have changed the course of the Americas. Picture, if you will, a world untouched by the echoes of European footsteps. The year is 1325. A nomadic tribe known as the Mexica, guided by prophecy and driven by ambition, arrive at the shores of Lake Texcoco in the Basin of Mexico. For generations they had wandered, searching for a sign, a celestial affirmation of their destiny. The Basin of Mexico, a fertile valley ringed by volcanoes, was already dotted with city-states. It was a land ripe with opportunity but also fraught with danger and competition. The Mexica, however, were not to be deterred. They were a people hardened by their nomadic past, fiercely independent and deeply spiritual. They yearned for a permanent home, a place to establish their legacy. Little did they know they were about to found one of the greatest cities the world had ever seen. Every civilization has its founding myths, stories passed down through generations that explain their origins and purpose. The Aztecs, or as we know them at this point in their story, the Mexica, were no different. Their mythology was rich with tales of gods and monsters, of creation and destruction, all interwoven with the fabric of their daily lives. Central to their belief system was the legend of their patron god, Huitzilopochtli, the fierce deity of the sun and war. He was not a benevolent god, not in the traditional sense. He demanded sacrifice, a constant struggle against the forces of darkness that threatened to consume the world. It was Huitzilopochtli who gave the Mexica their purpose, their divine mission. He commanded them to seek a place where they would find an eagle perched on a cactus, devouring a serpent. This was the sign, the unmistakable symbol, that would mark the location of their new home. And so they searched for years, their journey a testament to their unwavering faith. Finally, on a small swampy island in the middle of Lake Texcoco, they found it. Imagine the scene. A small island barely above the waterline surrounded by the vast expanse of Lake Texcoco. Not an obvious choice for a great city, one might think. And yet, the Mexica saw not limitations, but potential. They were a resourceful people, skilled engineers. And their ambition knew no bounds. The island's marshy ground, unsuitable for traditional agriculture, forced them to innovate. They created chinampas, artificial islands made from layers of mud, reeds and decaying vegetation anchored to the lake bed. These floating gardens, a testament to Aztec ingenuity, would become the lifeblood of Tenochtitlan. But their ambition extended far beyond agriculture. They dredged canals, creating waterways that crisscrossed the city, transforming Tenochtitlan into the Venice of the New World. They built causeways, linking the island to the mainland, allowing for trade and communication. Stone by stone, they constructed temples, palaces, and marketplaces, transforming the once humble island into a bustling metropolis. By the 15th century, Tenochtitlan had blossomed into a metropolis unlike any other. The city, with its intricate network of canals and causeways, its towering pyramids and its bustling marketplaces, was a testament to the Aztec genius for urban planning. At its heart stood the Templo Mayor, a towering double pyramid dedicated to Huitzilopochtli and Tlaloc, the god of rain, a symbol of the Aztec worldview where warfare and agriculture were intertwined with religious devotion. Imagine approaching Tenochtitlan by canoe, the sun glinting off the water, the city rising majestically from the lake. The white stucco of the temples would have gleamed in the sunlight, a beacon visible for miles around. The air would have been filled with the sounds of commerce, the chanting of priests, and the laughter of children playing in the canals. This was Tenochtitlan, the heart of the Aztec Empire, a city that rivaled and in some ways surpassed the great cities of Europe in its grandeur and sophistication. No exploration of the Aztec civilization would be complete without addressing the elephant in the room, or perhaps more accurately, the sacrifice on the pyramid. Religion permeated every aspect of Aztec life. It was a complex system, a tapestry woven from ancient myths, astronomical observations, and a profound belief in the cyclical nature of time. They believed that the gods, much like the sun, required constant sustenance to prevent the universe from plunging into chaos. This sustenance came in the form of human hearts, offered atop towering pyramids and elaborate rituals. Today we recoil at the thought of human sacrifice. We see it as barbaric, cruel. But to understand the Aztecs, we must shed our modern sensibilities and attempt to see the world through their eyes. To them, sacrifice was not an act of cruelty, but a sacred duty, a necessity to maintain the cosmic order. It was a complex issue, fraught with political and social implications, a practice that both unified and terrified their subjects. But the Aztecs were not just warriors and priests, they were also innovative farmers who developed a unique and sustainable agricultural system that allowed them to thrive in an otherwise challenging environment. Remember those floating gardens, the chinampas? They were more than just a clever solution to a geographical challenge. They were, in essence, a feat of ecological engineering, a testament to the Aztec understanding of their environment. The chinampas were incredibly productive. They could yield multiple harvests per year, providing a rich variety of crops, from maize and beans to squash and tomatoes. The canals that crisscrossed the chinampa fields served not just as waterways, but also as irrigation channels and a source of natural fertilizer. Fish and aquatic plants, cultivated in the canals, provided additional sources of protein and nutrients. This closed-loop system, a marvel of ancient ingenuity, allowed the Aztecs to create a sustainable food supply that supported their growing population. Fueled by the bounty of their chinampas, the Mexica, who now called themselves the Aztecs, embarked on a campaign of expansion, conquering neighboring city-states and forging a vast empire. But unlike the Roman model of direct rule, the Aztecs established a tributary system. Conquered peoples were not necessarily absorbed into the empire. They were allowed to maintain their own rulers and customs, so long as they paid tribute to the Aztec overlords. This tribute came in many forms: food, textiles, precious metals, and yes, even people. While this system brought immense wealth to Tenochtitlan, it also sowed the seeds of resentment. The Aztecs, with their demands for tribute and their practice of human sacrifice, inspired fear and loathing in equal measure. This simmering resentment would, in the end, prove to be their undoing. Now let's dispel the notion that the Aztecs were nothing more than bloodthirsty conquerors. Their civilization was, in reality, a vibrant tapestry of art, science, and culture. The Aztecs were meticulous record keepers. They developed a sophisticated system of writing using glyphs or pictographs to represent words and concepts. They recorded their history, mythology, and scientific knowledge in intricately illustrated books called codices, made from bark paper or animal hides. Imagine these codices, colorful, filled with strange and beautiful symbols, a testament to a lost world. Sadly, only a handful of these precious documents survived the Spanish conquest. The Aztecs were also keen astronomers, developing a complex calendar system that reflected their deep understanding of celestial cycles. Their calendar, a fusion of science and religion, guided their lives, dictating the rhythm of planting and harvesting, of festivals and sacrifices. They understood the movements of the sun, the moon, and the stars, using their observations to predict eclipses and other celestial events. Their knowledge, accumulated over generations of careful observation and passed down through oral traditions, was impressive. The founding of Tenochtitlan was not just the birth of a city, it was the rise of one of the most powerful and enigmatic civilizations in the Americas. In the end, the Aztec Empire, like all empires, would fall. But the legacy of Tenochtitlan, the city that rose from the lake, endures. Built on vision, ingenuity, and spiritual devotion, the Aztec Empire left a legacy that continues to captivate the world. Their story is a reminder that even the most magnificent civilizations are transient, subject to the ebb and flow of history. Though short-lived, it sparked centuries of cultural transformation.